Hi, this is Dave and welcome to the Table, a series of videos where I review and discuss board games and card games, looking at them from a family perspective. Today we're going to be looking at the Apocalypse in a very fun way with a game called Host from Broken Prism Games. This is a 2 to 6 player card game, plays in about 5 to 15 minutes. We'll take a look at the game and I'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, inside our copy of Host there's 4 different types of cards that we have. First is your main set of cards, which are actually the host cards, which inside here will be a variety of different types of cards that we have in here that will be trying to collect sets along the way. Investigation, Invasion, Inoculate, and Infect. And there's also a card in there called Draw an Event card. Next, we have a stack of mission cards, and these different missions will give you the objective for your game. For example, here this says Covert Ops, collect 10 of any card type, or maybe like the Hive Mind here, collect 10 invasions. We also have a stack of event cards, and when you play an event there's different things that can happen. You can either have something bad where you're going to have to shuffle all the hands and then deal them out back together, or something will give you like maybe a new mission. Will change out your old mission. And then finally, the fourth type of card that comes in here is an optional. These are character cards where you can be assigned a random character to play during the game. In fact, this guy right here, the UFO fanatic, this is actually Matthew Robinson, the designer of the game, and he'll give you +2 to invasion. So he's in the game as well. Next, we're going to take a look at a sample of how this game is played. Okay, I have this game kind of set up right now for 3 players, and I have a bunch of cards set face up for the purpose of this video. At the beginning of the game, each player will draw a card from the mission deck, and this will be their objective of what they're to complete. My particular mission is Patient Zero, to collect 10 infecteds, which means that I need to have not 10 infected cards, but a value of 10 infected points to have in my hand. The player to my left has what's called Covert Ops, and he has to collect 5 of any 2 card types, and the player across from me has Alien Virus, collect 5 infecteds, 5 invasions. We will also be dealt 4 cards from the host deck. This is the card, my hand here, which will be, all of this will be kept secret from the other players. Let's look at what I have. I have a +1 infected, -1 inoculate, draw an event card, +1 inoculate, -1 infected, and +3 investigate, -3 invasion. You may be wondering, what do all these cards mean? Well, these cards serve 2 purposes. Number 1, they add to your points for what you want to reach in your objective, but they also have a negative value. So in my hand right here, looking at this inoculate and this are infected and inoculate, the 2 of them essentially cancel each other. So right now I'm sitting at a net 0 infected towards my goal. I also have this card here that says Draw an Event card. And these cards can be, you can hold on to them and they can be played at any time, even if it's not your turn. And but when you play it, you will draw a card from the event deck that's on the table, and you will resolve that effect or as soon as you draw it. If it is a mission card in there, because there are certain missions, you keep that secret and that will replace your mission that you have currently going on. So some cards will affect just you, the individual player, and some of the cards will affect everyone that's playing the game. So let me show you how a turn actually goes on here. I will assume that I'm the first player, and I will draw 1 card from the host deck, and I will put it into my hand. I will then take 1 card in my hand and I will discard it essentially to another player of my choice. So I don't have to necessarily give it to the player on my left or my right. I can choose how I want to do it. Now, this says I want to collect infecteds, and I have to be really careful about how I'm going to discard cards in my hand, because if the players, especially in 3 players, they start seeing the same type of cards coming to them, they're going to kind of have an idea of what my mission is, and they may be throwing cards at me to kind of keep me from winning. So there is some strategy there, so you have to be really selective about what you're going to do. I will take this card right here, this investigate card, and I will pass it to the player on my left. The following player, they'll do the same thing, draw a card from the host deck, put it into their hand, and then discard one card out of their hand, trying to reach their win condition. I may also decide to play one of these event cards at any time. So I'll decide that I'm going to play this on my first turn. I'll say, I'm going to draw an event, and I'll place that card, the event card, on the table so that people can see that it's in play. And I will draw an event card. And I will resolve this effect right here. It says, no honor among thieves, take one game card from each player. So I will randomly just draw one card from each of the players around me and add them to my hand. So if I took a card like this one here, and I grabbed one from the player here, and I'll put these into my hand. Play will continue until somebody has a win condition. And right now, if I look at these two cards right here, they kind of cancel each other out. So I'm at +2 infected, so I have a long way to go. If I progress the game along as if we're getting towards the end of this round, and I look here and I have a whole bunch of infected cards in my hand, and I'm pretty close to reaching my goal. So I will say that I will have drawn a card from the host deck, put it in my hand, and then I can discard a card to another player, and I'll say I won. And I will lay down my cards and show them that I have reached my objective. So right now, if I look at my cards, here I have +1, +2, +2, +3, +1, +2, +3. All of these are infected, and I have a -1 inoculate. So let's look at my net here. 1 and 2 is 3, 5, 8, 9, 11. I actually have 14. I could have won this game previously. -1 here, so it'd be 13. I have 13 infected cards, so I would win. If I had said that I had won and I did not add up properly any cards that produced a negative, I would actually be out of the game. Okay, let me give you my thoughts on Host from Broken Prism Games. First of all, let's take a look at the tagline that comes on this box. It says, a card game for the rest of humanity or what's left of it. And this is kind of a fun way to see what kind of end of the world there's going to be from the apocalypse, whether it's going to be an alien invasion, or are we going to be overrun by a bunch of zombies, or is there going to be some massive, huge outbreak of disease? And so all of this, we're working, trying to save humanity or cause the destruction, one of the two. So it's very fun. The game itself has a nice simple mechanic of set collection. Okay, just gathering up cards, trying to complete your mission. Okay, one of the cool things in this game, especially looking at this from a family perspective, is the mental math that has to be done with some of the cards that are on there. You have cards that are going to give you a plus value and some that give you a negative value. So you're doing addition and subtraction in your mind. Simple addition, simple subtraction, but still, you start throwing in a number of cards and you're kind of counting up and kind of counting down. So how fast can you process those numbers in your head? That is a great skill that this game lends to it. Looking at this game, I like the artwork on it. It's very simple. To me, this game reminds me of kind of artwork that you see on cards like Uno or Skippo. Very, very popular card games. And this just kind of goes along with the theme of it's very simple, very effective. I like the fact that the font is large and able to be read, and the artwork itself, the pictures, it's very clear as to what type of card it is, whether it is an inoculate, whether it's an investigation, whether it's an invasion, or whether it's an infected. You can tell right away what they are. Some of the things about the game that make it kind of even more interesting is using the event cards. And using the event cards, some of them can kind of give you a new mission, or it can kind of throw things off for everybody, make them discard their hand, everybody draw a new mission, passing cards around. So that kind of gives the card, those event cards kind of give the game a little bit of feel similar to Flux, if you've ever played that game. But not quite as crazy as Flux, but it's just enough that it can throw the game off. And so if you think you have a strategy, if somebody else plays an event card and you're close to winning, it may just throw everything off and you may not, you'd be far away from winning. So that's kind of a cool thing with the game. And also using the optional character cards, you get dealt one in advance before you even draw a mission. So sometimes it will help you, sometimes it won't. But it's really kind of cool, just an additional thing that's kind of optional. A couple of thoughts that I have on this game. Number one, this is the Kickstarter edition, and there was an edition that came out before. It's a first edition. Some people may have it, some people may not. And that game just had the host cards and the missions. So that's very straightforward. If you're looking for this game to start playing it, especially with younger players, I think that this game, you can scale the difficulty. If you were to go through the host deck and remove all the draw event cards out, you take all those out, and you can just play without using the event cards, and it's pretty much just going to be, what is your mission, selecting the cards and passing them around till the kids get a good handle of what's going on, and then you can incorporate those later on. So if you take out the event cards, it would be very much like the first edition of the game. I just think that this game is a lot of fun. I think that for an entry-level game from Broken Prism, this is a good start. I would like to recommend this game to people who are just looking for a light, fun filler, something to play with kids. This game, we've taken this with us out. We play this at Buffalo Wild Wings a couple of times already, and I've played it at my sister's house. We play it here, play it at my local game store. It's very easy. Everybody that's played it has had fun. It's very simple, and like I said, it's nothing too heavy, and it's just a good set collecting game. It's a lot of fun. So if you want to engage in trying to either bring about the apocalypse or save the world from impending doom, pick yourself up a copy of Host. Okay, so that was Host from Broken Prism Games. Join me again next time when we look at another game that should be making it to the table.